Hello, I'm Chris Thanis. I'm a KMP developer. Tech support says they're coming out Tuesday for that bad boy. We'll see. So today I'm reacting to a couple of videos in relation to adventure-driven development. And the first one comes from Jamie, and he's over at Healthy Dev, and which is used to be called Thriving Technologist. He changed his name, but he's been in the business a long time. Not as long as I have. Well, maybe the same amount of time because I took a break. Let's see what he has to say.
I worked at corporations, I was so afraid of risk. When I worked at corporations, I was so afraid of risk. Everything I did was I wanted to avoid risk with my company, risk with my project, risk with myself. And hey, none of us want to take just stupid, uncalculated risks. But they really prevented me from growing. They prevented me from getting to do things that maybe would, really increase my value, really increase my, just fun in my career and ability to do things. And when you work for yourself, you can't really be successful if you don't grow. So having a learning mindset, you've heard of this, I'm sure, before. If you work for yourself, you're going to be constantly presented with things that you've probably never done before. Oh, yeah. And, it pushes you out of that sort of false sense of security when you work for a corporation where you're like, well, marketing deals with that and sales will deal with that and a manager will deal with that. Ultimately, you have to deal with it. When I worked at corporations.
So adventure-driven stuff, that is the difference, right? So adventure-driven stuff, they're run by the preserver types. And Jamie and I are this destroyer creator type. We see stuff that sucks. We hate it. We think it's terrible. Now he dealt with it with it's very normal by smoking weed and blaming himself for these issues when in fact it's just the preserver, right? He is been given a checklist of the one way to do things from the creator type that came before Jamie, right? Which is this conference-driven development, this book-driven development stuff, where people get these ideas, they go to these conferences, they hear these speakers who are really pushing books and their own courses and all this other stuff. So there's this massive amounts of sales going involved here. And the preserver types are the ones that go to these conferences a lot of times because they're the CTO. So they get these great ideas and they hear the sales pitch, which is always wonderful. Isn't that crazy how it's always great? Whatever thing they're pitching is awesome. And it's going to fix all your problems from here on out forever, right? So the preserver types hear this, and this is gospel given down by the creators, right? These creators who are also destroyers, right? They're going and saying the old method that you thought you were using or you were using is obsolete, it's gone. So they're doing destroyer creator stuff. So they get in these, so the preservers get sold in this environment where there's massive amounts of confirmation bias, right? And then they come back to your environment where this guy didn't go to the conference, right? He's just handed these things that you're expected to now go down the checklist. And because they were sold so fucking hard at these conferences, they think that any problems that you are having with dealing with these issues and implementing these ideas, it's your problem now. You're the bad guy. You need to do overtime. The guy at the conference said this is great. He's got books. He's got stuff on YouTube. He's got a whole following on Facebook. Yeah, he's got a following that he didn't purchase, by the way. And he's got all kinds of real subscribers that weren't click farmed. And he has found the thing that fixed all these other companies. They all look at it. He's got slides with all the corporate logos of all the companies that he's fixed this stuff that they were having problems with. These are big companies, right? These are really big companies. Now, what he doesn't say, what they don't tell you, right, is all this other stuff. It's like, we just have a guy that was in tech support who downloaded a copy of our software and just happened to work at Marriott or Taco Bell or McDonald's, and we'll count that as a sale. He logged in from there and he said he worked at McDonald's. Not really verifying any of this stuff actually happening. But we get you put the logo up there, and by the time someone says, hey, you can't put our logo up there, they're like, oh, sorry, okay, we'll take your logo away. And they got 17 other ones. It's like, okay. So there's a lot of this stuff going on, and it definitely fools the preserver types because they really do fall for sales pitches super well if it's done by a creative type who's gone through the process, right? So these creative destroyer types who are on the conferences, promoting the books, promoting the courses, They have been down in these things, and then they get into one of these silver hordes and they learn the sales cycle. It's like, oh, you just see what they object to, and then you set up a thing for that objection, and you do a series of those. And most people, if you meet all their objections, they're going to get the sales because they want to buy. The reason why they're in the sales pipe already is because they have something that needs improving, right? There's something that's unacceptable or needs improvement. So they get in the sales pipe. They go to the conference, which has the speaker that they've been promised, which will show them the one true way, right? The one true way of doing software development, right? That was a bad frame to freeze on. But let's talk a little bit more about other things that happen in the workplace. That's famous. That makes it look like it's your problem, but it may be other issues going on here. So this is a kind of like, you could probably stop the video here and get most out of it, but if you're going to be doing battle and get up these tutorials, personal projects, and get your first junior role, you're going to be in these environments. This is most of what corporate America is currently. Who knows how long it'll be? It's been like this for a long time. So I can't imagine it's going to change. So you're going to fall into one of these things. You're going to fall into a tunnel of fake agile doom, scrum coach death marches, and cargo culture. We've gone to these conferences and we've studied the articles at Google and oh yeah, we're doing the scrum. We got the agile. We got cross-functional teams. Yeah, and we're using Jira. And we got all kinds of CI/CD pipelines. Yeah, so you're going to get caught into a lot of cargo culting in these places, right? And if you're lucky, you'll get into a successful one, right? That'll be like a silver horde, right? So, but eventually you're going to want to get to the happiness because this is just draining. All this stuff down here is just draining your happiness away because you're following somebody else's dream, which may or may not be real. It may be a grift. It may be just because they got somebody to get a hold of the ZERP money. You know, they got a friend in the banking. He's got this VC. He just gets the money for free, and he's willing to fund whatever crazy idea as long as he gets a kickback, etc., etc.
There's a major problem that we're all dealing with in the workplace, right? We discuss layoffs, the job search, girl bosses. There's someone else who's in a kind of different role to help you, right?
I don't know what's going on with.
There's a major problem that we're all dealing with in the workplace, right? We discuss layoffs, the job search, girl bosses. There's another demographic we need to address. It's not DEI hires either. It's workplace simps. There's loads of simps in the workplace. They just make work a more difficult environment for most men because they set the standard of simping so high that many.
Okay, a little hiccup on my computer, but let's start this again.
Simping, right? If you have to send a message directly to a male coworker, just tell them stop simping, send them this video. Hopefully you can help correct their simping ways. Now, we're going to expose beta orbiters in this video. Beta orbiter is just another word for a beta male that orbits a woman, and he's a simp. Now, I'm sure many of you have seen this popular meme.
So most of these guys, he's talking about these preserver types. He's like, oh, it'd be so great to get into an organization as prestigious as Google, and I'll do whatever it takes to stay there because that's what's important is having the brand name associated with me so I can grift off the brand name, and you're going to pay a serious price for that. And here's the price that these guys are all willing to pay with almost no questions asked. Come on here. What's going on? All right, I have technical issues here. Let's keep going.
Where if a so-called Chad passes a compliment to a woman, she'll react well. But if another man doesn't, who a woman doesn't find attractive, she will report him to HR. So that's the reality of simps. It doesn't end well for them. So next up, we're going to look at a few clips to understand the reality of simping and how we need to help reverse this trend to make the workplace a more palatable environment for most men.
With it as a man, and most of my audience does as well. The first thing is just to recognize that fact. The first thing is just to recognize, at least in the West, this has been so militaristically pushed on women that this is the good in life, that you should enter voluntarily into an authoritarian regime, which is a company, corporation, it's a top-down dictatorship.
Super hardcore.
And that you should sacrifice 8, 10, 12 hours a day to get a paycheck that then you spend on yourself. And what they've been told, they didn't start it, they didn't fight for this, they are born into the system where that's what they're told. That is the good in life.
And they're definitely told this is way better. So going in and working for a man, usually, 8 to 12 hours a day is way better than finding a husband and spending that time on your kids and investing in your kids and your husband and all that. And maybe have a 10% reduction of your 20% reduction in your cost of your quality of life, whatever that is. Just it's not following every trend on TikTok and every trend on Instagram. And that is actually what will make most women happy, but they've been so indoctrinated and programmed into going into these work environments and picking up a 401k and then but getting their own house and all that stuff. They're not going to get a husband after that. They're just get a house for themselves. So it's like family formation doesn't happen because they don't need no man. They're set, right? And then by the time they've leveled up in their careers and make it $200K a year, they're all hypergamous, so they always want to find someone better. And they're marking themselves out of the environment. They wait too long, and then their eggs dried up, and they're done. And now we have cat wine box stocks, box wine cat moms stock going through the roof. So and our society is in free form collapse because there's no family formation because it's been decimated. Let's keep going.
I'm not going to reverse that anytime soon. So
before we continue with another clip, first we need to understand you're not going to change feminism and the bias in favor of women unless you have a macro change, which I don't think you should wait on. So you should adapt instead of reversing it, right? Women choose to be in corporations, which you mentioned, like authoritarian dictatorships.
Well, they're kind of like told if you don't do it, you're a total creep weirdo for wanting to raise your own children in your own house. What are you doing? That you're just giving it to a man. Oh, really? Your own house that you own? Your own children that you get to raise how you want them? What? How is that? Okay, whatever.
They've been trained, or they choose to work, selfishly spend on herself, not anyone else. Men typically take into account if they want to save for a family. This is not.
Yeah, men save up for a family, women save up for themselves, and that's gonna collapse the economy. Or we're not gonna have a culture. I mean, that's pretty much that's already down pat. For middle class, gone. Lower class, they have a culture, but do you really want to join that? And the upper class are like, no, you can't come in anymore. If you do, you have to do this shit. You have to be a super sympathetic, and even then, you're not really in. You're just serving them.
Necessarily how women think, and have to spend their money on a woman if they're taking her out. I've seen many cases in the real world, and you can look up this yourself, where a woman will get married to a man, and firstly, I've seen many cases where women will be talking trash about their husband or boyfriend in the workplace environment when he's not around, just because they need somewhere to vent about. They're always whinging about one thing or the other about their husband or their boyfriend that they.
Whinge apocalypse. Whingeopolis, Whinge Central. It's just whinge, constant 24/7 whinging. I'm like, what is going on? I came back to these environments after I had my own company. I ran it for 7 years, took a bunch of time off, and came back and into these environments. I'm like, what has happened?
Are in a relationship with. And many women also financially set themselves up with a to-go bag, like an escape bag, which is just another way of saying a woman maintaining significant savings for herself.
Yeah, they're all told. Men aren't told that. Men are told, hey, you might want to put your stuff in Bitcoin, just not tell anybody about it, like $500 a week, and just like, hey, that's an investment, whatever, and just don't. It just goes off into the ether. No, they don't never do that. They're not told that, but women are definitely told, have a backup plan. Men ain't shit. Make sure you get your bag before you put money aside somewhere, stock it away because she's gonna just leave you. It's like, damn, men aren't told that. But it happens, 80% of these divorces are initiated by women, and 90% if you're college educated. That means that if you go to college, you're definitely going to get a divorce.
A secret from her husband, so she can go and divorce him or leave him if anything happens and she chooses to. Now, lots of men don't do the same for themselves. Lots of men think they're sharing the living costs.
Oh, we think we're sharing. We're so simped out because the culture. Look, man, this isn't just all by accident. This is just like, everything just happened. No, this is pushed from top down. The people that run the country in the United States, the business knows the corporation United States, they want docile workers who will take orders. They want people in the preserver role. So people that move outside of it, the destroyer creator role, we're always going to have friction. And even the people who go along with this stuff, the simps that go along with this bullshit, they just don't do well. I'm sure you've seen it. If you've been any time in these environments, anyone that's been there a long time, this is how they act and what they're about and what they think is great and what they think is like, what they think was important. It's like, what the, where you been? It's like, oh, you've been in these environments, been tamped down. You've been like tamed. You're like that elephant that was always had the chain on his foot his whole life, and then they clip the chain. He's like, that doesn't leave, he just sits around the same spot. It's like, because man, it's just these environments are for people that are destroyer creator types. It's just debilitating. Now, some people love it. Some people think, yes, this is awesome. All I gotta do is check boxes. I can check boxes. I can check boxes all damn day. Right? That's so they're happy with it. But destroyers like, These goddamn boxes, man. These boxes, this is unacceptable. These boxes are unacceptable. And the creator goes, I have a solution. I have a solution for the boxes. I can give you different boxes, better boxes, smaller boxes, cheaper boxes. And these guys go, really? I can do that and turn that into something which will be the box ticking that will last forever.
With a woman, and men and women are contributing equally. A lot of the time it's not. A lot of the time it's more the man spending money on the woman. Even in cases where women who get beneficial promotions and hiring practices and in senior roles compared to some of their boyfriends or husbands, they're not spending money on them, on their husband or boyfriend. They spend money on themselves or saving it for secret escape if they want to do that, right? So it's really interesting seeing this kind
They all plan it. If you're smart in college and you haven't, this is what they learn. This is in the air. It's in the environment. It's pushed by the big networks. They're all owned by 6 corporations. Wonder why that would be. So yeah, they're the biggest spenders. Women are the biggest spenders in the economy. They spend up 80% of the consumer spending. So they spend all the money. So if you can get the mind control working on them, when they think they go into a job and paying taxes, paying 50% of taxes, and putting your kids in daycare, which people are working for minimum wage, by the way. It's so silly. This stuff's crazy. And you're having your kids raised in those environments by people who... Really? You want to have your kids raised by those people? And you think they're going to turn out okay? Good.
of bias dynamic, but still, because there's workplace simps who will always be your lending ear, be the emotional tampon for a woman to dump her emotions, be the work husband of these career women who've also already got a boyfriend or a husband. The guy at work will be the simp, the beta orbiter, go for her long coffee breaks away from the desk where she wants to vent and dump her emotions on a man. These workplace
all
simps,
that stuff is constant. It's constant because these women have been convinced that this work environment is their social environment. And the boomers are all about it. It's like, oh, we have a great community here. We're like a family. Yeah, they're more than willing to tell you that because the women will eat that stuff up. It's like, I get to go to work and have a social environment. It's like, no. I mean, you're getting away with it now, but this is all coming to an end. This is all totally unsustainable because it's so open to competition. It's so open to people coming along. It's like, nah, we're not going to do any of that stuff anymore, as I've covered in other videos. Like, so the people are like, man, these environments, they're terrible. It's like, yeah, that's the signal that you are a destroyer creator type and that you have to find your way up through the mountain of all this crazy shit and still want to go after it and be in tech, right? If you want to still be in tech or whatever the thing is you want to do, you're going to have to be up here where you're going, finding your own cave entrance, finding your own set of customers, your 1,000 or 10,000 customers. If you're just one person, you only need 10,000 customers. That's it. You're good, man. And if you can't find 10,000 customers, well, you need to go keep searching for that cave opening so you can see an attack vector in. And don't get trapped in these things. Don't get trapped in these environments, man. I'm thinking that this is just the way it is. You're always following someone else's deal. Yes, it's very scary to go up here and attack this goddamn thing. It's very scary. I get it. That's why it's adventure driven. And we do, it's courage and creativity, because courage to take on the risk of, like, look at these guys going up things. Like, you got one guy is going up this way. He's like trying to go into the market up here. He's getting dunked on by like the people. This is the preservers up here saying, you don't get to come take our stuff. We're going to get rid of you. You have to do way better than that. The cup of ladder. Does this make sense? No.
So they do a lot of extra work for the woman, be the emotional dumping ground for her, and they basically turn the workplace into everything revolving around what interests her, right?
Right, the social environment. These workplaces at the lower levels, at the levels that the preservers are working at down here, which usually they're managing developers and stuff. They shouldn't be, but they are. This is how these environments are set. It's industrial style stuff, which they've all been told is the only way you can structure business is like industrial productivity. And it's just like, no, this is knowledge work. Knowledge work is different. It's different. I mean, you can get away with doing preserver stuff. Let's change the color of the button, put this thing over here, put that over there. But developing a whole different thing that nobody's seen before, or way better than anything that's out there. It's more fun. It's faster. It's easier. It's less expensive, even though I wouldn't compete there. But funner, faster, easier, more refined, less friction, not as annoying.
And so that's very interesting to consider, right? You know, a lot of men don't realize this. Men who are in husbands or boyfriends, they don't realize how much their wife or their girlfriend will talk negative about them in a workplace environment because they're not there, of course, right? And women tend to vent about what they're thinking, and then a lot of these beta orbiter guys will say, be the lending ear for that, right? Society's put incredible restrictions on men behavior, how men can look at women or male gaze, or how men can talk to.
Oh yeah, you just better keep your head down and keep it to work only. Now they get to talk about dating sites. I worked at a company, I'm not gonna say which one, where the chief of staff, there's like the head CEO guy, and he had a chief of staff, which I don't understand why he did, but whatever. She would start the meetings, end the meetings. She would be there, make sure he came in on time. It was like his little presentation agent, and she would talk openly about her dating sites and ask men how their dating is going, and men would have to respond, and women would laugh, like, oh, that's so funny. And like, dude, what are we doing? And this would go on for 15 minutes, and people would be like, oh, it's so funny. Oh my God.
Women, and all these ways he can be cancelled with false allegations, accusations, or how.
But if you think if I would bring up my dating site or my thing I did this last weekend, or you think I wouldn't be getting a PIP plan to get written up and HR wants to see you. Hey, I look at an email from the chief of staff. HR wants to talk to you about some comments you made in the last meeting about what you did for dating, what you were dating, and how you did your dates. So come on down, and we're gonna get a Zoom call on that and get you on a PIP plan.
We can phrase things for women, how she can retell a story in a way that makes him look negative instead of positive. All these things can happen, right? And society doesn't discipline.
Guilt, rallying, shaming, like trying to gang up on people, getting people to triangulate other people. Oh, did you hear what Sally did? Did you hear what Sally's husband did? I can't believe you said you fucking did. It's like all that stuff constantly. No work's being done. None. Just all this because of the social structures that we used to have before the women went in the workplace. They still had this social structure, which isn't on any GDP charts. It wasn't written down anywhere, but it was like the structure that held the society up. Were these people, these women, who made sure there was Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and things were decorated, and the houses were nice, and there was no GDP for that. So they were all convinced by the corporate overlords, whatever the hell they are, that they went into the thing where they would pump the GDP. And yeah, it showed up on the GDP, yes. But what did we lose? All that social structure is completely decimated now. We actually can't go back to it. It's gone. So the workplace is the new social. It's the new social. That's why they make everybody act like ding dongs in that place, and why and they try and dominate with the female, especially at lower levels. It's dominated by that female spirit of, just how females run things, and it's just not for men. That's why if you are sensitive to that stuff and you're just like sick of it, you do have to like see it for what it is. Play the game. Listen to Ethan, right? He tells you how to play the game, right? Which is, just basically go along until you find a way out. If you take on more responsibility, make sure it's in a direction that's going to get you on your attack vector. When you try to find this cave opening, or do it at the same time. Like, I know you can't just jump into something, and you need to build a skill up. Or you need to try and do it in parallel as much as you can. Yes, it's tiring. You got to stop Netflix. Oh, I want to get my Netflix. You have to stop your video games for a little while. If you are the kind of person who's like, this sucks, this is unacceptable, right? The destroyer. And he comes in and you have to become the creator. You can't be like, I hate it, and then just take some Xanax or get your Wellbutrin, go to therapy. A little more therapy will help. Deal with it. Yeah. So if you're already sick of it, you're going to have to become a creator as well. So you can't just be like, this fucking sucks, this blows. You actually have to know, you have to be like Steve Jobs. You have to go study calligraphy when nobody gives a fuck about calligraphy. What does that have to do with anything, dude? And it's like, well, it turns out to be real important to a lot of people who were like that. Were just starving outside the little dot matrix box that the computers were before Steve Jobs dropped in on calligraphy. He wasn't even signed up for the class. Just dropped in. He's like hanging around campus like Ken Thomas. These people you think it's like these guys. They're annoying as hell. They're very aggravating to talk to because they're outside the box. Whatever box these people. So most of the complaints you're hearing about Steve Jobs and these people that act like this are coming from the preserver types. Like, we were given the checkbox, and the checkbox was fine until this guy came along and ruined it. It's like, yeah, we're ruining your checkbox. We're killing you. We're getting rid of your job. Is what we're gonna do.
or hold them accountable or give them any sense of responsibility for their actions. They can always play the victim when it's convenient, the damsel in distress, or a man did this, or she doesn't get preferential treatment or hiring or promotion. She can always play the victim when it's convenient and always be empowered when it's convenient and be leverage the incredible media bias in her favor or the government
And
bias.
women are just super good at all this stuff, right? Men with Asperger's, like a little mild touch of the tism, like me and all these guys, I'm on the same part. We just want to do the job. We're trying to go after this cave opening, go after the customer, and try to please it the way with using the technology, these tools to like get to the golden cup, whatever that is, experience, showing off, money. Those are like, just looking back and going, how did we prank that guy? All that stuff is this golden chalice, right? And if you have that desire inside, if you have that desire to like go off into the unknown where the check boxes don't live, right? Where you may fail. You probably will fail. You probably will fail a lot. But you're willing to keep going off. That's where it's at, man. That's where the happiness is. It's up here. Right up here. When you've got enough skill sets to make a run on the cave opening, when you still actually got some gumption left, because this shit takes it out of you, dude. Like, this is like brutal. These environments are deadly.
Bias, all the corporation bias in her favor, right? And society just reinforces what women want to hear, girl power, girl boss, things like that, and not tell them the truth. And at the same time, it's constantly demeaning and demoralizing and emasculating men, right? So the truth is, if you're a man and you're in the workplace environment, you should think, how overly helpful are you being to a demographic that has already been giving countless advantages over you? And
all the advantages. Like, how much more do they need? This should be going great. It's for all the marketing and hype that they had about, oh, girl boss, women in the workplace. It should be going gangbusters, and it's not. They're doing mass layoffs. It's obviously failed.
As if it's a fair competition when it comes to promotions, when she's getting all these additional...
I'm not saying all, but like most of them, I don't think they should be there. They're all just taking up time. Look, they need to go home and raise their children. Sorry, I'll be saying it straight up. They would do better by raising engineers and business people and like sales guys and marketing folks and artistic. Raise those people, raise those children, and you can be proud of them. It's like you can either be a scientist or you can raise 5 scientists. What the hell?
Benefits throughout society. So let's learn more from this particular example here.
I think there are a couple things that we need to change as men. One, we got to stop helping women because they're women. And I know that's controversial,
sure.
but it shouldn't be. And I'll tell you why.
For sure. For sure. This is the anti-simp. This is an anti-sympathy. Is this pissing you off? You might be in the category that you need to hear it.
So there are only 2 possibilities, right? We got to stop helping women just because they're women.
Right.
That should be completely non-controversial. And I'll tell you why. There are only 2 options here.
And it's very controversial. You say this out loud, I'm sure to get some hate comments from this just by playing these videos. And much less comment and agreeing to them. It's like, yeah, you women, you've had all the mentoring you're gonna get. You have all the advantages you can get. We're cutting you off. You're done. We're equal. We're equal, right? You wanted equal? Well, you're equal. You have the same. We're all the same. So now step up.
There are only 2 possibilities. One,
or get out. Really, you belong at home with the kids. You make beautiful babies. You make when kids are well taken care of by their mother. When they're kids, when they're little babies, turn out to be really good people. So go raise some good people instead of being shitty. Oh, did you hear what Sally said about her husband? What an asshole. Oh, that's good. Oh, look, boss babe. Like, all that stuff, gotta go.
That we are helping women because they need our help, right? 2, that we are helping women and they don't need our help. Oh, if it's 2, then it shouldn't be controversial at all, right? We're just mansplaining.
I'm just mansplaining, ladies. Anyways, like, man, oh, that guy's an asshole. I'm just mansplaining, so just ignore me, and that's let it all just it'll be fine, I'm sure.
And they don't need no man. They don't need no help. Great. So stop helping. Stop trying to give them clues. Stop trying to do their work. I had a lady at a place I was contracting with, and she was tasked with changing the customer service. She's the head of customer service, and she comes to me and she's like, hey, you know what? Hey, I really need some help here. There's all this analysis, and she knows I worked as a consultant. She knows I do that, and I need some help, Rich, to do some analysis and figure out how to do all the metrics on what the people.
You should know that by now, lady. How did you get in that position without knowing that stuff? How did you get in the position without knowing? And did you go to everybody along the way and do the same thing? Can you help me? No, that's your job, lady. Do your job.
What the people are doing. And I told her, there's nobody better to do that than you.
Nobody better to do that than you. That's a classic line. Everyone should just memorize that. No one better to do that than you. Pit plan, HR. You're being a misogynist meanie. You're not mentoring me. You're not doing my job for me and getting me hired over you because I took the credit and didn't mention you at all.
No, in the past, I would have said, oh, yeah, sure. Oh, no problem. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Yeah. No, stop it. And I know you're a man.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. Not anymore. Hell no. Hell no. Now how things have turned out, they're not equal. They're totally supremacist movement. It's a supremacist movement. Let's be real honest about it. It's a supremacist movement. It's not going to go away on its own, right? We have to leave. If you're one of these people like, this is unacceptable, you have to leave. But you can't leave and be bitter. You gotta leave and be some creative types. Yes, so that cuts down even the least number of people, because most people love to bitch and moan about this stuff. But to actually get down there and go through all this bullshit and get the skills enough to make a run on this the cave opening yourself, yeah, you're a very rare character. Very rare character. And this is the spirit of the West. This is how we got the things that we all find to be quite useful and interesting. Wasn't from a goddamn committee. Oh, did you check all the boxes on to get the product out the door? Did you check all the boxes? No, it wasn't from them. It was from these guys going like, this sucks. This has to be something better. And I'm going to try and go for it. And I'm going to take everything. I already have everything I need to go there. But it really is a self-selection thing. This isn't a top-down thing. This is a self-selection. If everything's totally cool, copacetic, you're fine with it, then you're not even paying it. You have already clicked off this video. But if you're this destroyer, creator type, this stuff irks the shit out of you, right? And I'm just telling you there's another way, right? But you're not going to get there without courage. You're not going to get there. Look, this is courageous. He's not just being foolish. He's being courageous.
And you're competent, you've done this. I know it. So, okay, so they don't need our help. Go do it, right? And you see, I'm going from man to man, trying to figure out somebody to do their work.
Man to man, not woman to woman. Oh, come on now. They know where the people who get these things done, who will shut up and take it, because that's how we kind of are in general. When we're rewarded for it, we will do that. And the simps and the people who don't have the skill level to get up to be a creator, they'll limp along with this stuff. They'll go with it and they'll play the game. But the thing is, like, when they encounter someone like me or him or Ethan, we don't play the game. It's like, what do you mean? Oh. PIP plan, HR department.
Stop doing their work, even if you get pressure to do it, so on, just because they are not doing well. Let them do it. Now, the second part is, the first option is that we are helping them, and they do need our help. Well, that's offensive to women. I can understand that, right? From a woman's perspective, why does she need a man's help? Okay. So then the answer is stop helping her because she's a woman. Because if she does need your help, she shouldn't be in the position that she's in.
Correct. If you need help on something that you should be able to do, you really shouldn't be in that position. And how did you get there? Oh, I know. Wow. The DEI and the you must support women and Boss Babe and TikTok. And oh, look at me. I got this shoes with this bag today. I'm going to get my latte and do a 15-minute meeting and then go to the nap pod and then... Oh, look, there's an afterward. It's a wine bar. Look at this, the wine bar at work. Oh, yeah, that's super productive. Oh, yeah, that's also really, really efficient and totally doable, only in a ZERP environment. So the last 15 years, people think, oh, this is normal. It's just everything free money. And this won't cause any inflation. No, this won't make the cost of living go through the roof. No. Latte. Look at these cute shoes. Get the fuck out of here.
Right? So stop it. It's not helping her to advance in her career organically. You are simply propping her up, and she's incompetent in her role. That's not
incompetent. We're having a massive amounts of incompetency happening, and that's also an opening, a cave opening. For people that are willing to go and get the skills necessary, there's a massive amounts of incompetence that can be competed away. And you only need 10,000 customers. You don't need 5 million. You don't need 5 million customers. You need 10,000 customers. And then you're good. You don't have to worry about being in these environments and helping out the women. Oh, you know I'm not incompetent. You're mansplaining.
Good for the company. That's not good for her. That's not good for the group.
So this is what I'm saying. Stop simping. If you're a workplace simp, we'll put you through rehab. Reach out to me. I am offering career advice. I will help redeem your simping qualities and turn them into actual positives.
I'm just going to bitch about it. I'll help you with the KMP project. I'm actually working on something else. I'm working on some KMP stuff, looking for this cave opening here. I'm not going to try and help you out of this environment, but I'll just tell you you need to get out as soon as you recognize the problem. You have to start looking for your exit and be smart about it. Don't be a dick like I was.
So I've noticed cases, for example, working on trading floors where men will be beta orbiters, for example, in tech teams where you'd have one woman and mostly men doing the work, and then the woman would always get constant help from the other men. I remember one time I was working on a private bank. A private bank is like a bank for high net worth individuals instead of companies. And what they do is essentially, like I say, help very rich people manage their finances. And I remember a woman coming from another team kind of asking me to help her with a task when I wasn't in her team or kind of department. And she tried to, I don't know how to say it nicely, but kind of casually flirt with me. And I was just not going to do a whole bunch of extra work for her. And she kind of took the hint that I was quite busy. And that's what you can always do. I'm busy doing what I've actually been assigned with in a nice way. And then I ended up spreading that work between like 5 other people. And I did a little bit of it, but most people helped with other people helped with it. So that's
Women do this. This is how they operate in these environments. So instead of taking up the mantle and maybe training people on how to do this skill set and getting them to up level, she's actually extracting the skill from these people that she's identified, and she can spread the work out and still maintain her position. And it seemed like she's actually getting things done, where she's just purely extractive. Now, if you don't see how that will cause problems in a workplace, and how most people that are good at their jobs will figure out what's going on here, and they're only going along with it because this is just the social structure, the zero interest rate thing, where a lot of people who started these businesses really had no business starting these businesses, had no business getting those loans or that VC funding. The idea was bad, and there was a kickback situation happening, right? That's really what's going on. This is the environment we are ending. That ended in 2024, and now we're going in this other environment where all these corporations who have been behaving and using these tactics to stay in business are not going to be able to stay in business with people like me and Ethan, and I can't remember his name, this guy around, that are going to be making that are going to be doing, they're going to be like, see this, the lava lake of direct competition. You might be able to be a low cost leader in a lava lake just because these environments that these women are working in and extracting their value and inside of are open to competition now. You still need to find a way to, like the cave opening, that gives you a differentiation somehow, some way, easier, faster. Cheaper is really a hard one. You really don't want to do the cheaper stuff, but there may be times when you can, because it's right now. It's one of those times. There's just so much incompetence. The level of people that have been, that's why those layoffs are so extreme as well, is because the number of people that were just doing these preserver attacks, they had to go because zero interest rates over, free money's over. Now people actually have to make money. You can't have one person siphoning off her girl boss position by identifying and pushing her work off to 5 different people and then taking full credit for it. Oh yeah, that's super sustainable.
That's what you've got to do. Stop making yourself overly available as a man. In historical times, when you had tight-knit communities, men and women would have more complementary relationships. Now it's competitive relationships. So in the past, you might be a man and you'd help an elderly woman maybe, fix some issue within a house, right? As a man who's more... That's
when the social structure was still, the social environment that we had opposite of work was big, right? We had this we like to take care of people. We want to get respected for it and get credit for it in the social sphere, right? But now the social sphere is tied down to like this tiny little dot because everyone's atomized and completely don't even know your neighbors, and you're moving around every 5 seconds just to keep up with the job. Or I need to go move over here because I get a bump in pay for 30% as opposed to 2% by staying at the company I'm at, because they don't realize tacit knowledge is very valuable, and they don't seem to give a shit about it. And these other companies are willing to pay me 30% more just by moving across the world to fuck my friends, fuck my family, fuck the social connections. And they'll remember me, right? Yeah, no, they don't remember. So you go to these atomized IQ shredder cities, which you get in under these upward wheels, and to stay happy in these environments, your consumption increases as well. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like it's like you're getting ahead, right? Anyway, let's keep going.
Competent at DIY and manual labor, and then the old woman might contribute to your household by cooking some food, right, or something like that. But we don't really...
Yeah, so that's what I say. The social structure shrunk down to this, and the corporate, completely transactional thing is now the dominant, right? And everyone's trying to make this thing what the social structure used to be. They're trying to make the corporate structure that. It's just like not the place for it. but there's such a push for it by all the people who used to have that environment, used to have that social structure. They're now forced into this corporate. It's like they're trying to make it like that, and then that's why all this family talk came from. Where's the family? And like we treat each other, blah blah blah, and we have fun days at the office where we do fun games and team building activities and all that junk. Yeah, that's only necessary because the social structure completely collapsed, and people when they go home, all they do is scroll Instagram, or play video games. They don't go talk to each other. There's no social environment anymore. That's all gone. Or you go out to a bar. Oh, so people are getting lit up, drunk. You're not even talking to the person. It's something else. And people just do that out of desperation just to get to some little bit of happy. They're not really happy there. And the moment you stop drinking, you're going to find out those people are not really your friends. They're just your drinking buddies. They're just your drug buddies. What?
You have those social dynamics anymore. The social dynamics are all transactional relationships between the worker and the company, between men and women, even between citizen and government. It's very transactional now, right? So that's just something you need to adapt to. I remember a woman who...
I'm not adapting to it. I changed location. I moved to Mexico. They're not doing that stuff down here. They still have a social structure down here. Outside the cities, of course. I'm not in the city. But outside the cities, there's no this mobility of everyone running around all the place. That's not really a thing that's happening here.
Who literally had a degree in astrophysics, and she'd worked in finance at a few other companies, and she's working in this new team and this new department that she hadn't worked in before, and she was constantly getting help from a member of my team, and he was a simp. He was basically the third wheel or the literal beta orbiter kind of her, and she was married to she was in a relationship with a high-powered lawyer, and he was always kind of listening to her vent about her emotions, about her relationship, always giving her extra help.
Constantly, because again, the social structure that women should be in and they thrive in, and it makes life wonderful, really. When they do this, then they have their own social structure where they get to do this instead of going to men who they see as their father figure in a lot of ways, because they're training them and teaching them and showing them things and doing things for them. So it's like that's where this work husband shit came from, because there's social structures that used to exist that women really were dominant in and would thrive in. And be wonderful. It was wonderful when this was going on, because I remember how it was before this stuff happened, before this stuff got widespread. People took pride in their children. They took pride in their house. They took pride in making their man feel good about doing the shitty shit they have to fucking do with these jobs. What?
With her job, because she didn't know what she was doing, even though she was constantly bragging about having a degree in astrophysics and being super smart. And it just is what it is. But it's just like, you see this constant...
That's disgusting. It's disgusting. She's always talking about the astrophysics. So that makes the guys go, oh, astrophysics. That means you're going to go to space. That means you're a space person. Do you know how to go to space? Oh, you know about the stars. Oh, it's M4 and M3. Oh, it's billions of miles away. Oh, so it means you're going to get us there. No. She found out a way to famoose the guys around her so she can keep moving up in the Boss Babe network. She realized that it's not really about knowing any jack shit about astrophysics, because none of these guys are going to ask her really any deep questions about it anyway. And even if they did, she's using it to get control of them. What? This is not hard to figure out. I know Simp's like, oh, but she's really smart and she's going to go to space. Like, no, dude. She's going to get you to do her work for you, ding dong. What the hell is this?
Thing all the time, right? Use a phrase, behind any strong man is a strong woman, or beside any strong man is a strong woman. In reality, it's like behind any strong woman you see in corporate environments, there's like at least one or two other guys doing her work. And one of the last jobs I've worked at, I won't name the investment bank, but there was like one woman in charge who had accelerated career growth right from her early 20s to her early 40s now.
Oh, yeah.
To being promoted to managing director at the youngest level in the company, because she was one of the favorite of senior management, right? She went
from... Of course! Maybe getting a little... No, that never happens. Never? This has never occurs. Might get to the way of the top. That never happens.
From intern to managing director at the quickest rate. And then
at the quickest rate, from intern. Oh, from an intern. She went from intern to managing director at the quickest rate. Oh, I wonder how that happened.
And then who's kind of working for her? She has like 5 guys who are like middle-aged guys or older than her who are in 45 to 50 range, who basically the next level of management beneath her, and they do all the work, and she just presents it in a nice way to senior management because they want gender equality and they want women in more positions of power. So this is just how it...
Because the customers, that's the thing in the zero interest rate. So in the zero interest rate environment, they don't get the money from the customers, ding dong. They get the money from Wall Street or giving it away for free to their buddies, who are then recycling it into the asset prices, pumping it up, decimating the middle class, so they have no choice but than to deal with these environments. and creating a whole lower class because the middle class that can't compete, they get dropped in the lower class. And you get it all concentrated in the top, and then there's people that are in the lower levels of the middle management, they all get thrown away. So it's just these really rich people. That's why they're pushing this AI stuff. They think that they're going to get rid of people doing that. And to be quite honest, lots of these preserver types can be replaced with AI because their jobs are so useless that they actually should not exist. But the people who run these corporations at the very top of these things, they need to have people around them to feel like they're actually got something going on. So that's this zero interest rate environment, like allows for these types of things. Oh, that's what I say. The money's coming from those guys. So the stock buybacks and all that junk. If they can get money for free and buy their own stock back to bump the price, do you think they're not going to do that? And they're going to realize, oh, so the guys in Wall Street are like, you got to do DEI. We want to get more women and more. We don't want you guys to unionize. So we're going to get a whole bunch of different colored people so they all hate each other in the workplace and they won't unionize. Oh, okay. So if you look on that side of it, because this diversity, equity, inclusion was supposed to like open up a whole new world of all kinds of new profitable things. And what happened? No, it just got worse. It just, everyone's backbiting. You know, I'm blacker than you, so I get more. And you don't get less because you're white. And all this other junk. It's like, my grandfather was not considered white. Neither was my grandmother. She was damn Sicilian. She was not considered white. My grandmother was Greek or Turkish. I can't tell. He was not white. This whole white thing, like, why are you calling me white? I'm not, like, that's just a new thing. Like, just 3 weeks ago, you had me in the biscuit factory, about to lose a limb because I had to go work on a thing without the OSHA laws. Like, you're throwing people away. People getting killed all the time in those stamp factories. Anyway, let's keep going.
It works, right? And I've dealt with loads of things like that on the trading floor of other sales and trading divisions at investment banks. Your woman indirectly asking me for help to do their extra work for them or help them fill forms out and things like that. And I don't mind being helpful to like junior employees because I know how really toxic
Yeah, okay, that's the exception.
a lot of these banking environments can be. So if you're more junior and you just join the firm, I'll be a little more helpful. But then after a level at the point, it's like you're kind of especially when it's teams that are getting paid a lot more than you, right? If people,
yeah, especially teams that are paid more, and these simps will still go help them. It's crazy, man. These environments are so ripe for competition, direct competition. Somehow, some way, they're ripe for it because they've all thought that this is normal. They all think this is totally fine. I have no issue with it. Why are you complaining? Why do you have a problem with any of this stuff? No, women should be girl bosses and have 5 people beneath them that know how to do her job better than them, and she's paid more because she's got a pussy and they don't. They have penises. Oh, but then we have a trans woman, she'll go above that. So if you pretend that you're a woman, then you go above the woman. Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
people are in a sales team and they're getting paid 50% more than you, for example. And it's like, I'm not really going to overextend myself to help a woman who's already getting the benefits of loads of benefits socially in this kind of dynamic. And then, and this is the thing, right? So what ends up happening is if you don't help, in some cases, you could be reported to senior management from
Pit Plan HR. Chris, we need to come down to HR. We need to discuss a couple things with you about what you said on one of your YouTube videos. We need to get you a pit plan. We don't like what you said in that video.
a team player. That's why you have to navigate carefully. Like, oh, you're just so busy, you didn't have a chance to help her. Maybe next time, and politely put it back on them, right? And that's what he mentioned in this example with the head of customer service or customer services, something like that, asking her to help. She was asking him to help her, and it's like, if you're a woman and you've been put in this position, you shouldn't be asking someone else.
You should be able to do it. You're such amazing boss, babe. Your equity and inclusion should come along with all this expertise. If you're the same as us and you're the same as the guy that you say you are, then do the fucking job. Oh, you can't? Well, isn't that a shocker?
Who's in a kind of different role to help you, right? And one thing you've got to be careful of, these workplace simps, hopefully we're redeeming you right now, is that lots of times your female co-workers might want to go off the desk to drink a coffee at a local coffee shop and gossip and vent about, oh, this co-worker's that co-worker's that. And if you don't,
Constantly.
they want you to kind of play into their emotional outburst.
Constantly.
And you shouldn't really do that.
What they're doing is rallying. They're doing rallying. So they're trying to see who's going to be the person that they can be on top of, because all these games are being played. They say they're not being played, but you best believe they're being played. This is all they do. This is their game. This is what they do. Men try and solve problems. Women try and create them, right? And they want to rally around things. This is what they don't have physical strength. So they got this other thing. It's called this social stuff, and they're obsessed with it. It's not like they could turn it on and off. They're obsessed with it. And the Instagram stuff makes it hyper crazy, over the top. And all these dating apps, all these simps talking, oh, I think you're the most amazing. Oh, I get sex from any man. That means I can get any man. It's like, oh, no, you get sex from any man, but you're not gonna get a relationship or family or whatever. Now you might get it from a simp, but you're gonna hate him and just divorce him later. These people are crazy. This whole society, the way it's been set up for the last 15 years or so, is completely upside down. And I'm glad that it's finally filtering out and people are coming back to the real world, and I'm able to like put some of this stuff together myself, and for anybody else if cares to listen. Like, the only way out of this stuff is adventure driven, man. You gotta, if this stuff is bothering you, you have to get out. And adventure driven is not prescripted; it's descriptive. It's like, it's how these things are put together, not it's how they have been, how people think about these things, not how to do them. Right? It's not a checklist, guys. Not a checklist. I'm not giving you checklists. I'm just saying this is the kind of things you should be feeling and thinking about when you want to get into and doing a tack run. When you want to go look for the cave opening, you don't know how long it's going to take. It could take years. Oh, I want it overnight. Oh, do you know overnight success takes about 20 years? Did you know that?
You should be very careful about that type of dynamic, because you get dragged into some kind of friend zone dynamic. It's kind of weird, right? And also,
it's weird for us, not weird for them, because they're on this other thing that they don't really care about the money that much. They're getting paid, they're fine. So now it's like, oh, I get to play social dynamic games. Oh, and I get to, and nobody can stop me. Even the CEO cannot stop me. And they're just running these guys rampant at 45. Oh, yes, man. Oh, she smells so nice. Oh, did you see the rack on her? Oh, my God. It's like, dude, stop.
You know, in instances where you are helpful, a woman can be condescending and say you're mansplaining, right? And you get treated like a second...
Oh, yeah, you go too far, now you're mansplaining. Oh, you want some help? Okay, but, you're saying, no, don't say it like that. It's not what you said, it's how you said it.
Class citizen.
I'm going to tone police you. You said it in a way that hurt my feelings. Look, I'm just trying to get your job done for you. So you can either take it how I say it, because I'm actually trying to help you, or you're not going to get no help, which I recommend now. Just don't help them. You got to stop helping these broads. They got it all figured out. And let the simps do it. Let the simps keep going, but you respectfully decline. Pit plan.
And simultaneously you being off to help. So it's just kind of like, doesn't make sense, right? And then when you have these type of dynamics, you have, everyone sucking up to them, right? You have senior management who are sucking up to women to promote them quicker, because senior management get, certain hiring quotas that they have to meet to help put more women in positions of power.
Right, to get not the customers they're supposedly serving with their products. No. That's so 2008. No. We have a different plan. We go to Wall Street. We get our best sales guys to get hookers and get some blow and bring them down to the strip club, get them to sign on the dotted line after they're all liquored up and coked up. And they're like, yes, this is a great plan. I'm going to get a kickback. Yes. So it's not coming from the customers. We wouldn't be so hoi polloi to be getting money from customers, from providing services and goods. No. We got our DEI numbers up, so we got Larry Fink on Wall Street to give us $100 million that we're going to burn through and kick back to the property owner. So we're going to do return to office. So we got real estate investments. Everyone's getting kickbacks. It's working great. Yeah, go boss.
On a gender equality, then you have women who have male colleagues at the same level as them, who will be simps, who will be sucking up to help do the work, right? And then sometimes you see women succeed on the basis of their ability. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm just addressing.
Oh no, it does exist. I've worked for these women. So this is why I'm like, hey, if you're capable, you're capable. This is like last time I worked with her. She was capable. They were capable people, but they also were kind of not the same as working for a dude. Because working for a dude there's always mentor just by. All the technical people I've ever worked with will mentor you as long as it needs. And it's not even called mentoring. It's just like, how I'm showing you how this works. And because you asked nicely. And I've never had that with the women. They're always like, just surface level, just enough. And then I'm out of here at 5. They didn't go hard in the paint. None of them did. They did the minimal. They were capable, but they weren't like one of the dudes I was working with be like, hey, we're getting into this. Here's how's this works. Oh, you found this over here. Oh, this is cool. But if you thought about doing this, it wasn't none of that.
the simps right now. But sometimes women will really be good at leveraging their social skills, which management want, particularly for like managerial roles, you have to manage other people. So they get promoted based on the appearance of their ability, not the actual ability.
Right. The appearance of their ability, not their actual ability. Absolutely.
And an important point to learn as a man is that social contract is completely broken, right? Women don't
completely busted. Yeah, the only people that are running the social contract anymore still are the simps, and this is because they're scared. They're scared because they know they don't have the capability to survive outside these environments, so they're scared. So they're just going to go along with it.
Reciprocate. So if you'd be overly helpful with a woman, would she be overly helpful with you, or would she take credit for the work when senior management?
Take credit and not be overly helpful. You'll just take, because that's kind of how things are in the world anyway. Women are the ones out there causing problems. We're solving the problems, and that's just our nature. And they really know this environment this experiment where they were trying to make everybody equal. It's obviously failed, and if you don't think it failed, all you do is just compete against them, and you'll see that they can't. It's not possible.
Looking into it, that's why it's an interesting dynamic to consider where you should be more collaborative and helpful with other men who might reciprocate that help, and form kind of tighter bonds with some of those contacts. You gotta be careful though, because like I say, a lot of men can be quite negative too and backstabbing and gossipy. So just be conscious of these.
Not as much as the women have been. That's for damn sure. That's not been my experience. The men are. It does a little bit has been happening, but nothing like the women have. It's holy crap.
Social dynamics, particularly if you're a man and you're going to be an honorable man and do the right thing. People aren't really going to do the right thing by you, so just bear that in mind.
If you are a young man, realize that we are in a transitioning culture, and that you're not going to reverse this anytime soon. So you have to flow with it. From the women's perspective, if there are any women still watching this, step up, go for it. God bless you. Go for it.
No, you got it now. If women are still watching at this point, you got it now, and take full advantage of it because it's about to be over. It's not. It's on the way out, right? This phase of our society where we try to do this is on the way out. So, congratulations if you took advantage of it. But don't think it's going to be around for much longer.
This might be a fantastic thing. We might get a whole new perspective on how we do work, how what we can build, what we can do together. And I welcome that. I welcome all the women to the workplace to build things on merit, to do stuff on
merit. On merit. This is the key word, on merit. Which, you got to really show yourself after this stuff's over, because there's a lot of famous and a lot of kayfabe.
Merit. And am I going to help you out because you're a woman? No. You can do your own job and go for it. And if that's okay, that's offensive. But if you're competent in your work, I don't need to help you. I don't need to do it. You got your women in leadership organization and all this stuff, the meetings. For the men, I encourage you, get together with other men. It doesn't have to be the men in leadership club.
Absolutely.
Get together for lunch. Get together for breakfast. Religious-minded.
More casual. Go fishing. That's cool. You don't have to go to leadership lunches. That's women shit. Men gotta go do something, and we'll get together, and we'll as we do this other thing, we'll collaborate and figure stuff out from there. But not just sitting around talking, having. Did you like the eggs? The eggs were good.
Get together for a prayer breakfast or a spiritual breakfast. Get together with people in your industry and out of your industry. Let's start getting together as men, and this idea of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I gotta be out there doing something though. Let's go chop some wood. Let's go split some wood. Let's get a wood splitter and go split some wood and chat for a couple hours.
It is nonsense. Let's get together with non-toxic, amazing, just awesome masculinity, because that's what's built society so far.
Well, yeah, that's true, and that's what's happening anyway. That's what the adventure-driven stuff. It's mostly gonna be dudes. They're going to be doing this stuff. So, and that's most people on my channel, which is intentional. Girls got it. They got all this shit good. They're good right now. Men, not so much. So here's some comments here. Corporate workplace is pure simple logistics. Get out as soon as you figure it out. Yep, that's for me. I'm not sexist, racist. I don't trust anyone in the office. Keep it professional. Never overshare. Be polite but impersonal. I'm going to say yes to that. Speaking personally, women are a nightmare to work with. Push the boundary to get away with it. Whereas a guy, everything I do is on the HR microscope. HR, Chris, report to HR. Get a PIP plan going. You improve your PIP. You gotta get your performance improved. I just did a video about performance. It's just retarded. It's ridiculous. Keyword about stuff we don't like. We don't like you. You don't really fit in here. PIP plan. Speaking personally, women are nightmare workers. Okay. Okay. Don't adapt. Fight back. Exactly. You have to go out and do something different. Don't fight back. There's no point in fighting. Fight who? This corporate environment stuff? No, it has to die in itself. The only way to fight is to go outside it and compete with it and just take its lunch. Take a slice of its lunch. You don't take the whole lunch. Take a slice. Take a little piece off. If you've been in those environments long enough, there's places, all kinds of inefficiencies all over the place. And you might find something there. So you can't just be bitching about it. You got to do something about it. You can't just bitch. You got to do something. And that may take a while. I'm not saying it's easy, but this is the only way out of this bullshit because this stuff ain't going away. Well, it is, but don't wait for it. These environments like, oh, I'm going to stay in a corporate environment and do all the things that the boss babe told me to do, and eventually everything will be fine. It's like, no, dude, no. The worst part is the worst husbands and simp for sub fives. The worst part is these work husbands sometimes simp for sub fives. So on the scale of 1 to 10, if you didn't know, 5, below 5 is you can't fuck it. Like if you get caught sticking your dick in that, everyone will make fun of you. Like, dude, what are you doing? She's got a humpback and warts. It's no measure of health to be well-adjusted, providing a sick society. Exactly. Jiddu Krishnamurti. An example of this is like, I once for a large touring company where the car park was reserved for the directors and high-ranking members of the company. The owner's grandson also worked there, and he was very interested in a female colleague of mine. And they started messaging each other privately. Oh, okay. How did he know? Because she told him. Thanks to this guy, it wasn't long she managed to get herself a parking space at the car park, despite having a low, besides being a lone ranking member of the company. Oh no, she ranked up. She ranked up real quick. She's ranking. Ranking. I asked her whether she was interested, and she told me she was actually engaged to another person. She knows how to play. She knows how to play this game. I should have taken that as insight as her character because shortly after we became friends, she started manipulating me as well for her own gains, and I'm a woman. That's hilarious. Okay, sometimes I would wonder, does your husband know what you're up to at work? Women in open plan office discussing childbirth details of their genitalia. When I ask them to keep the noise down, that ask you to concentrate, they threaten to report me to HR. No, I have huge warts on my labia, and and they had to give me 3 epidurals, and it pooped out my cunt, and it's all this other stuff. It's like, dude, no, do not talk about that at work. And then you get threatened to go to I'm going to write you up for saying you can't say discussing my genitalia warts publicly, loudly, is causing a problem in the workplace. These places are crazy. There's nobody better than you. I'm going to have to remember that one. He seems to be applicable both me and everyone. Yeah, exactly. Nobody better than you. But Ethan, if a man doesn't simp, he'll give a target on his back and emotionally driven women that hold grudges. Yes, that's what will happen. All right. I think you get it. Well, hopefully by now you do. Like and subscribe. Give me a comment. I'll talk to you later.